Okay, so let's continue. So transforming enhance entity relationship diagrams into relations. We have the mapping, unary relations, one-to-many recursive foreign key in the same relation, and many-to-many two relations, one for the entity type and one for the associative relation in which the primary key has two attributes both taken from the primary of the entity. So we have here an example of mapping the unary one to many. Okay, so we have here an employee entity with a unary relationship. So this shows that the employee entity in the ER diagram, it has an attributes of employee ID, employee name, employee date of birth. And it is managed by and manages relationship indicate that the employee can both manage other employees and be managed by another employee. Okay. We also have here on the second relationship, a relation with recursive foreign key. This shows the resulting relation in the relational database. The employee relation has an additional column. We have the manager ID, which is a recursive foreign key referencing the employee ID within the same relation. So the recursive foreign key indicates that the employee can be managed by another employee, creating a hierarchical structure. Okay, so mapping a unary many-to-many relationship, we have a bill of materials relationship. So this shows that the item entity with a unary many-to-many relationship to itself. So the relationship indicates that the item can be composed of the other items, and an item can be a component of a multiple other items. Okay, and we also have here on the second one, item and component relations. So this shows the resulting relations in the relational database. The item relation remains unchanged from the entity relation diagram. A new relation, we have here a component. So this is created to represent the many to many relationship. So the component relation has the following columns. We have the item number or the foreign key as the referencing item. And the component number, foreign key, is referencing the item from the item quantity. Okay? So we have here the ternary EERD into relation. So mapping a ternary and n-ary relationships. Okay, ternary relationships. We have ternary relationships involve three or more entities. So an n-ary relationships involve more than three entities. So in mapping this ternary into a relational database, one relation for each entity. So in a ternary or any uh, relationships, you typically create one relation for each entity involved and one relation for the associative entity. Okay? Well, the associative entity has a foreign keys to each in the relationship. So this allows it to represent the associations between the multiple entities. And we have here a mapping a ternary relationship, patient treatment ternary relationship with associative entity. So this shows the patient treatment entity, okay, which is an associative entity representing relationship between the patient, the physician, and the treatment entities. So the patient treatment entity has the following attributes: PT, uh, P treatment date, P treatment time, P patient treatment results. Okay. So in ternary relationships, this is an ternary relationship. Okay? Because it involves three entities. We have the patient, the physician, and the treatment. While the associative entity, the patient treatment entity is an associative entity that captures the interaction between the three entities. And the relationships here, the patient treatment entity has many-to-many relationship with both patient and physician entities and one-to-many relationship with the treatment entity. We also have here a mapping a ternary relationship between patient treatment. So this shows the resulting relation after the mapping process. The patient, physician, and the treatment remains unchanged. Okay, so the patient treatment relation, which is the associative entity, has the following columns. You have the patient ID from the patient nga entity, physician ID from the physician nga entity, treatment code from the treatment nga entity. So this patient ID, physician ID, treatment code under patient treatment is all foreign key. Okay? So remember that the primary key must be unique. This is why the treatment date and time are included in the composite primary key. But this makes a very cumbersome key. It would be better to create surrogate key like treatment. Okay? So transforming ER diagrams into relations, mapping supertype and subtype relations. So when we say supertype and subtype relations, these are used to represent entities that share common attributes but have specific variations. So the supertype represents the general entity while the subtype represents the specific variations. So mapping to a relational database, we have the one relation for each. You can create one relation for each supertype and one relation for each subtype. Supertype attributes. These are the attributes that are common to all subtypes. So it includes the identifier and the subtype discriminator. Go into the supertype relations. Well, the subtype is the attributes specific to each subtype go in the corresponding subtype relation. So the primary key on the supertype relation also becomes the primary key in the subtype relation. So one-to-one relationship is established between the supertype and each subtype with the supertype as the primary table. This means that each instance of a subtype must be associated with an instance of the supertype. So we have here an example of supertype or a subtype relationships. So we have here the employee. So the employee entity is the supertype representing general concept of an employee, and it has the following attributes like the employee number, employee name, employee address, employee date hired, and the employee type. While the subtype of this employee, we have the hourly employee, salaried employee, and consultant. So the employee entity has three subtypes. Okay, each subtype represents a specific variation of an employee, like the hourly employee. So ang iyahang additional attribute, hourly rate. Salaried employee, additional attribute, annual salary, and stock option. And the consultant is contract number and the billing rate. So the subtype discriminator has the additional attributes, contract number, and the billing rate. Okay? No, that is for the consultant. Subtype discriminator is the employee type. Attribute in the employee entity is the subtype discriminator. So it indicates the specific subtype of each employee. So the possible values for each employee type is we have the H as hourly, S is for salaried, and C is for consultant. So the relationship between these entities is one-to-one relationship. Since the supertype, employee, and its subtypes, okay, has an instance that belongs to the supertype. Okay, so this these following subtypes belong to this employee nga supertype. So in mapping this supertype or subtype relationship to relations, we have here the employee relation represents the supertype containing attributes common all subtypes. So this is just an example. You convert siya into relation. Okay, so this entities here is converted into relations. So we have here, next we have the data. Let's proceed with data normalization. So primarily a data normalization is a primary tool to validate and improve a logical design so that it satisfies certain constraints and avoid unnecessary duplication of data. And uh, wait for a moment.